Hi there, welcome to Gaining Vision. I'm Melanie. Thanks so much for clicking. To my returning subscribers, thank you for continuous love and support. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please feel at home. If you like my content, I encourage you to hit subscribe. It's free, I promise. And definitely like and share the videos. But if my content is not your cup of tea, I encourage you to find another channel. There's so many out there. I'm open to conversations in the chat. I love to hear thoughts, ideas, and perspectives. But no insults. Really, we have no time for that. As I was doing some research, I came across a video that finally answered the question that I was wanting to hear. At a recent EFF event, they had a press briefing, and it was great to hear the questions once again. And Julius Malema answered them clearly and concisely. But it wasn't just Julius this time, and I was so glad. See, the EFF has a leadership team. There's many of them that are there. In fact, they have a war room where the leaders go and make all of the decisions for the EFF together. Although Julius Malema is the leader of the EFF and does a lot of the talking, people always ask, what will happen when Julius Malema is not part of the EFF anymore? Or will the EFF stand alone?
Mr. Deputy President, my question for you is, I just wanted to find out, is there life for the EFF after Malema? And this question is not an indictment to the current leader of the EFF. Mr. Malema is often a very good leader. You know, he's very persuasive and he's done his duty as a leader to grow the party. But my question is, you know, you're often touted as the next CIC in waiting. You're touted as the brains of the organization, and you're heading into the third elections, and growth is vital for the party to remain strong. But my question is, will the EFF be able to survive without Malema at the helm?
And it was Floyd, the Deputy President, who actually answered the question at this press briefing. He shared that, in fact, all of them collaboratively come together and have all the answers put together before whoever is going to speak will speak. So Julius Malema is not talking on behalf of his family, the Malemas. He's talking on behalf of the leadership team of the EFF. In fact, all political parties have a leadership team. The spokesperson, or whoever happens to be speaking, whether it's the leader, the chairperson, the Secretary General, is speaking on behalf of the party themselves.
Look, the economic freedom fighters is going to outlive all of us. It has gained a life of its own even now. So even what you are saying, the president is leading excellently the organization and is doing extremely very well in a very decisive, focused, an inspirational, persuasive way. But the organization is growing, like, you know, this Ipsos research company generated a report which they presented to all of us to illustrate that when we participated in the first elections, the individual leaders of the EFF, because the organization was still young, were much more popular than the organization. But it is now a different story. The organization has gained a life of its own. Look, in the recent past, this past week, in the University of South Africa, 43,000 students, where we are not involved, none of us here, in the campaigns of the Student Representative Council elections. And 43,000 people voted for the EFF student commands without our participation. So this organization is far much bigger than all of us as individuals. And that is the organization which we founded 10 years ago, that it's an economic emancipation movement that is not just about its individual leaders. It's not a private organization. It's an organization of the people. It's an organization which we are going to bequeath to future generations to emancipate ourselves from the neo-colonial dominance of the West. And that is what this organization is all about. So if there's one thing which we are rest assured and we confidently know, is that this EFF is going to outlive all of us. So that is, I mean, it's finding expression in other parts of the African continent. In Namibia, we've got the economic freedom fighters, which ascribes to our leadership here in South Africa. They've got members of parliament in Namibia. We have never been to Namibia to campaign for the EFF. So the EFF is an idea which is long overdue, and it's relevant for the lives of our people. And one thing for sure, and which we are 100% convinced and we know, is that it is going to outlive all of us in terms of what happens. So that is the organization that it's an instrument in the hands of our people. It's a fighting weapon that will inspire many generations to come to fight for economic emancipation. Thank you very much, President.
Thank you.
Now, over the last 10 years, the EFF has evolved and grown. And yes, perhaps Julius Malema started the party with Floyd, but in fact, it's evolved. It's no longer Julius Malema's party. It's the EFF. They have a mind of their own, and many of the leaders are speaking up. And at this event, they were clearly outlining what was going to happen for the plan of action for the elections. They were very specific, and many leaders have an active role in this.
It's 10 years of existence as a political formation that is at the forefront of the struggle for economic freedom in our lifetime. The CCT meeting further had extensive engagements on the Road to Victory manual, which is our strategy towards the 2024 election victory.
But as Floyd answered this specific question, he was sharing that the polls have shown the impact the EFF as a party has had. He also alluded to the fact that Namibia is a leading party of EFF, and they've never been there. So in fact, Julius Malema is not EFF, and EFF will long live after all of them have come and gone. I thought, finally, an answer that people will get, because this is reality. The EFF is not just Julius Malema. Yes, he happens to be the current leader, but EFF has a leadership team, and every member of the EFF, whether they're at the national level or the provincial levels, they all have an active role to play.
The Central Command team reflected on the role the EFF continues to play in governance in Parliament, provincial legislature, and municipal councils as an organization that is in government. The EFF is pleased that we are making a meaningful impact in government, which is reflected by the service delivery initiatives we are making in municipalities such as Ekurhuleni, Johannesburg, Mogale City, eThekwini, and Nelson Mandela Bay. We'll continue to demonstrate to the people of South Africa that the EFF is capable and willing government that will bring about maximum progress, stability, and quality service delivery to our people.
And in this press briefing, so many questions were answered, but I really was happy that they shared their plans. They're going to be having a People's Manifesto where they're going to be contacting the people to come and share their thoughts and ideas of where they want the party to go if elected.
The second phase of our election approach is the Mela Phase, which is the phase where all EFF ground forces and the organization as a whole will listen to all the people of South Africa on what should be included in the People's Manifesto. The People's Manifesto will form the foundation of the EFF's campaign agenda. All the people of South Africa will be presented with an opportunity to contribute to the People's Manifesto, and we will, during the period, publicly communicate the platform through which there will be communication and contact with the EFF for submission to be made. As part of the Mela Phase, all EFF structures at all levels will hold physical consultation with different sectors of society. This will include the following: regional leaders, traditional leaders, farm workers, people in the fishing community, security guards, mine workers, former mine workers, professionals, domestic workers, farm workers, students, civil society, the creative industry, LGBTQI+ community, African diasporas formation, the business sector, unemployed youth, social grant beneficiaries, people with disability, and construction workers. The Mela Phase will also include holding of seminars which are one-day conferences of experts and practitioners in a sector to deliberate on the following critical matters. 1. On electricity in light of the crisis of electricity confronting South Africa. On jobs in light of the crisis levels of joblessness in South Africa. On crime in light of the growing and uncontrollable levels of crime. on the creative industry in light of the continued marginalization of role players in the creative industry. The Mela Phase of our election campaign and program will culminate in the launch of the EFF Manifesto in February 2024, which will be the beginning of the last phase we call the Chelatupa phase.
I love this. They're covering so many different groups of individuals. They'll have full representation because they're about the people. And that's one thing that EFF has definitely above everyone else. They're concerned about the people.
The Chelatupa phase begins with the launch of the People's Manifesto and will be defined by aggressive and intense campaign, which will be the center of the principle of person-to-person, person-to-person, campaign. Our campaign will be centered on speaking to our people directly because we are convinced of the superiority of our solutions and ideas. We cannot and will never be afraid of speaking to our people about their aspirations and demands because the People's Manifesto will be articulating their aspirations and demands.
I'm wondering if other political parties are doing the same currently. I know many of them will be hitting the ground running to find out what's going on and talking about their mandates, but EFF always seems to be ahead, one step ahead, on getting the people's input. I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes next, but I was so happy that this question was responded. Once again, the EFF has excellent media briefings and it's covered and all the questions are answered. There's no in between. Nobody's scratching their head wondering, but I would encourage the media, please do your research and not ask this question again because it is clear EFF stands by itself as a party. It has a great, strong leadership and it's not just Julius Malema. Think of it. Do you represent everybody in your family when you speak? Julius Malema is not speaking for his family, he's speaking on behalf of the leadership team and the party as a whole. But EFF definitely has grown and evolved over the last 10 years and will continue to do so and definitely will be long-standing. I encourage you to do your research, take a listen to this event and the press briefing because it's very informative. And now I'm aware of what's going to happen. I can't wait to see what comes out of the People's Manifesto. I'll be waiting to see as I continue to read about ANC, DA, and other political parties in South Africa. Do me a favor, take a second, hit that notification button. That way you'll be notified each and every time I upload new content. And remember, let's have an active conversation in the chat, but no insults. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.